kusura bakmayın, Türkçem berbat. So I will have to speak in English. That's it. That's all I have. Sorry. It's a great... Thank you. I tried. Was that all right, Nick? I tried. I was up all night rehearsing that. It's a great privilege to be here today among so many pioneering educators who are trying to change the world. And I should tell you that you are not alone, that this is a growing movement of people around the world. Yelma has suggested this, and we know this. We are part of a movement of teachers and educators and policymakers wanting to change the world by transforming education systems. And I'd like to share with you some observations from within this movement. And I'll share with you three clusters of observations. The first is observations on how people are starting to see the world. The second set of observations are around how people are starting to see the human being. And the third set of observations will be how people are starting to see the transformation of education systems to make a better world. So let me begin with the first set of observations, how people are seeing the world. It's clear that people around the world see a greater urgency than they've ever seen to change the world. People recognize now that we live in a time of exploding population, of exploding urbanization and migration. People recognize that we live in times of hunger and poverty and exclusivity and extremism and depression and anxiety and violence and pollution and climate change and resource depletion and species extinction. People are also increasingly recognizing that we live in times of unprecedented change, accelerating change and complexity, and that we live in a world of hyper-connectedness. So we have these huge number of social, human, and economic, political, cultural, and environmental forces that collectively combine to mean that we have reached a crossroads in human history. So there's an urgency for change. This movement also recognizes now that we need to change our perspective of the young person, the human being. We need to, and listening to our friends talking this morning or this afternoon about this idea of empowering the human being. We've heard about giving the young person agency, helping the young person find their passion, their purpose in life, helping them find their autonomy, helping them find their power to change the world. And there's a recognition that this is critical because when we look at that young person in the world, we can recognize that nobody is alone and that everybody is connected with everybody else and that everybody's quality of life is inextricably entwined with everybody else's quality of life. And so that anything everybody does has an effect on everybody else. And so this mindset shift of seeing a whole human being living in a world that is in desperate need of change is central to this movement that is emerging. Now, the third set of observations are how we go about changing, or rather transforming, Burak's point earlier was well made, transforming education systems. What we're recognizing is this desperate need to move our mindset away from this person getting through the system, getting academic qualifications, getting into university, getting into a job. These very individualistic and highly economic perspectives of education, which have dominated for so long, are starting to break away in places. And we're seeing educators now recognizing that we need to look at the whole human being, living in the world, having experiences in school and outside of school that fundamentally determine what kind of human being they become and what kind of contribution they're able to make to the world. We can also see that this transformation in many places is starting to be led from teachers and by parents and by young people. This transformation is coming from the front line, if you like, the grassroots. And it's not only seen as the realm of the policymakers. So it's a great privilege to be here in the hope that this coming together is the beginning of more comings together and of more active work by you and with your friends to start to transform the system here in Turkey and to start to transform the system in the region and around the world. Please remember you are part of a global community. And before coming here, I asked some of our friends around the world for some comments that they would like to put to you. And I'd like to just end with a small exercise, please. I've got 3 comments from educators in other parts of the world, from Latin America, from Africa, and from India. And I'd like to say these comments and ask you that if you like these comments, clap. If you don't like these comments, stay silent or boo. If you love these comments, please make a lot of noise. I'm trying to gauge here if these sentiments resonate with you as pioneers. So the first comment: we cannot leave this transformation to policymakers alone. Okay. They almost heard that in India. The second comment: teachers can lead this transformation together. And the final comment is young people must be the voice, the heart, and the soul of this historic movement. Okay, there's the answer. Thank you.